incident with former President Rodrigo Duterte. And to discuss that is our former General and lawyer, Attorney Garcia, Virgilio Garcia.
Salamat po. Tapusin ko lang yung sinasabi ko kanina tungkol sa great national security concern, yung mental health ng Pangulo. Kasi kailangan tayo makasiguro na matino ang pag-iisip ng ating Pangulo at siya ay gagawa ng tamang desisyon sa panahon ng pangangailangan. That he is going to make the right decision, that he will stay there and decide that our all, sa kabutihan natin lahat. Okay. Yung pangyayari sa na-assign sa akin na i-discuss is yung nangyari sa airport. Una-una, paalam natin sa mga kababayan natin, mga OFW, yung pagka kayo ay nangangailangan ng tulong sa ating gobyerno habang kayo ay nasa ibang bansa, iyan po ay hindi kusang loob, hindi kumbaga parang papogi nila na kayo tinutulungan nila at tatanawin ninyong utang na loob. Yan po ay obligasyon ng ating gobyerno na kayo ay tulungan. At dito po sa pagkakataong ito, the reverse happened. Ano po? Yung nasa labas, tutulungan ka. Napapansin ninyo yung mga nakukulong, yung mga pupunta ng ulo. We make representations with the government because our government must be able to protect our citizens in other countries para yung sila naman ay maproteksyonan natin sa kapangyarihan ng gobyerno kung saan silang bansa nandoon. Okay, so that is the prime duty of government is to serve and protect the people. We will give flesh to this constitutional provision dun sa nangyari noong March 11, 2025. Oh, sa airport, no? So, it doesn't matter, hindi personality driven, kundi ito ay obligasyon ng ating gobyerno na kailangan gampanan. Kaya sinasabi namin, sinasaktan namin ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, si Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., ng paglabag sa saligang batas, ng pagbigo sa tiwala ng taong bayan, at ang paglabag sa batas. Ayan. Noong March 11, ba? March 11, 2025. Sa airport, inaresto si Pangulong Duterte. Hindi siya napagbigyan na matulungan ng kanyang abogado. He was denied legal representation. Yung isang abogado nga niya, hinangka pa, inalis doon. You know? So, it's all in the complaint, yung narration of facts. No? But we all witness this, so I don't have to parang sabihin. Ang gusto ko lang klaruhin is ang sinasabi nila, ang basihan nila sa pag-aresto is yung sinasabi nilang ICC warrant of arrest. Okay. Under the law, a foreign judgment is a piece of paper, nothing more than just a piece of paper. It's just a mere scrap of paper. It's nothing, it's worthless unless this is recognized by our local court. Kaya ang sinasabi, dapat, kung totoo merong warrant of arrest, dapat dinaan muna sa korte. Regional trial court po ang mayroong jurisdiction to hear this kind of complaints. Dapat dinala siya sa korte at doon sa pinaharap para patunayan, unang-una, na yung ICC warrant, assuming that it was issued by a competent court. Competent hindi lang korte, it has to be issued by a competent court, a court that has jurisdiction to issue the warrant. Alright? Ngayon yung ating korte, pagkatapos na dinig niya, siya yung mag-i-issue ng warrant of arrest. Yung warrant of arrest na korte natin, ang gagamitin ng mga aaresto para siya ay arestuhin dahil yon ang may visa. Hindi yung warrant of arrest ng kahit sino. Alright? We violated all this. Lahat ng batas. So we have an enumeration of the laws violated by them. Unang-una, yung Republic Act 7438. Yan yung karapatan ng kung sino mang arestado, detinado, o undergoing custodial investigation at all times, yun ang sabi ng batas, you must be assisted by counsel. Ito yung other high crimes. No? So first of all, na-violate na yun, he was treated inhumanely, Nandito po lahat. Meron akong copy, bigyan ko kayo mamaya. Violated alam po ninyo, meron yung ating Bill of Rights, yung number 1, hindi yung number 1 just because yun yung una nilang naisip, but because that is the fundamental, most basic right of every Filipino is yung no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nor shall anybody be denied the equal protection of law. Kaya po yung number 1, yan yung talagang number 1. Hindi yan yung aksidente lamang na nailagay na number 1. This was violated. Yung kanyang liberty. Hindi siya nabigyan ng due process. No? Ngayon, bakit sinasabi natin si Presidente ang may kasalanan? Ang lahat ng ito kahit wala siya doon sa airport. Because he is the head of the executive department. And under Article 7, Section 1, he is the head of the executive department and he is the one in charge of making sure that all laws are executed properly. Alright? So, ngayon, ang masaklap dito, ang masaklap dito, hindi yung Pilipino nasa labas na hindi mo tinulungan. Ang masaklap dito, yung Pilipino nasa Pilipinas, pinadala mo sa ibang bansa kahit wala ang obligasyon ipadala yung taong yun sa ibang bansa, at pagkatapos, iniwanan mo doon without any aid or assistance from the Philippine government. That makes matters worse. This, to us, is culpable violation of the Constitution. This to us is betrayal of public trust, and the crimes that they committed are all high crimes. Yung punishable by death yung kidnapping, actually kidnapping lang tinatawag para maunawaan ng lahat. Pero actually, the crime committed is serious illegal detention, which is punishable by reclusion perpetua to death. That makes it a very high crime, similar to treason, bribery, plunder. Yeah. So, mapalipid po yung mga crimes committed. Ito pa, para kay General Torre. General Torre, you violated Republic Act 7438. Ang penalty po doon, mababa lang ang multa, 6,000 pesos lang. Pero may imprisonment, not less than 8 years, not more than 10 years. Pero ang pinakamaganda po, merong naka-attach na penalty na perpetual absolute disqualification from holding public office. In other words, once you are convicted, wala ka na pong retirement pay. Salamat po.
Thank you, General Garcia. Kong Jing, would you like to add? Si Atty. Manny wala.
Ang matindi doon is lahat itong gumagalaw. Gilbert, John Vicremulia, Anyo, Ibo, Ministro, lahat sila ni John Vicremulia, not in planet. So it's a conspiracy to put Duterte under rendition. And the fact is, they have lied. They have lied to the public. Sinasabi ni Marcos, meron na tayong Interpol. Pero wala naman pala, red notice. Kasi daw, the red notice, we are now obligated to the Interpol. Pero he disregarded what he has been saying, that the ICC has no jurisdiction. The ICC has no sovereignty over our country. The ICC has no jurisdiction. So he contradicted that, which he has been pronouncing for so long, by just a mere, we cannot refuse the Interpol. So, tapos hindi naman pala red notice kundi diffusion lang. Wala na eh. It's not even approved by the head of the Interpol yung ginawa nila. So all this, mananagot si Marcos Jr. dito sa lahat ng mga kabulastugan na ginagawa.
Okay. Nagtigan ko lang. Walang jurisdiction yung ICC. You know why? Because March March 17, 2018. March 17, 2018, nag-withdraw na tayo ng ating membership sa ICC. So yung residual 1 year nila is March 16, 2019. So up to that time, wala nang jurisdiction ang ICC sa atin. We have evidence to prove that the first time the ICC investigators came to the Philippines was in 2022. And we have
22.
evidence,
23.
23 yata. 23. And we have evidence kung sino ang nagbigay ng suporta sa PCAPL. Anyway, it's in the complaint, you know. Supported by no less than the Speaker, former Speaker Martin Romualdez, Saldi ko. Diyan naman si Saldi. Pwede niyang aminin o hindi. Sa kanya yun. And Sunny Trillanes.
Thank you, General Garcia. Attorney Manny, would you like to add?